Fortnite Season 2 Mega has finally arrived, bringing us a bunch of new lore regarding the syndicates and the infamous Last Reality. Last season, after the Rift Gate was sabotaged and destroyed by an unknown saboteur who was most likely Amy, a sky rift opened up in the sky, and a few days later it brought to the island what is most likely Reality 16, which is Evie's home world, to Reality 0. Through the Skyrift arrived Evie's faction, the Peace Syndicate, and the other two syndicates, the Fox Clan and the River Guard, who are all in disarray due to a saboteur among them who is trying to lead them into an inter-syndicate war that has possible relations to the Last Reality and maybe foreshadowing their return. Nevertheless, the syndicates weren't the only ones who arrived to the island. Many more mysterious characters came to the Skyrift, but two stood out the most: Mystica and Triarch Nox. Both of them seem to have very significant roles to the story and explain things we never previously understood about our most puzzling and enigmatic faction, the Last Reality. Which begins to pose the questions of who are the syndicates, who is sabotaging the syndicates, what relation does the saboteur have to the Last Reality, what is the importance of Triarch Nox and Mystica, and is the Last Reality returning soon? There's a ton of things to explain and go over with all the new lore we have received, so sit back, relax, and let's begin. To understand what's coming, we first need to understand the syndicates. From what we know, there are currently 3 syndicates: the Peace Syndicate, the Fox Clan, and the River Guards. The Peace Syndicate is a discrete criminal organization that has been here since the start of Chapter 3 Season 2 and has the goal of maintaining peace on both the island and with the other syndicates at all costs through shady means. Their leader is X, who we currently have no information about, but is heavily believed to be Midas. Their most trusted lieutenant is Thunder, a street warrior, sushi chef, the coolest lizard in the Peace Syndicate, and Evie's boss, who we were introduced to in the latest story quests.
Name's Thunder. I'm a restaurateur, entrepreneur, party lizard, and well-loved man about town.
Evie, who works under Thunder, has been here since Chapter 3 Season 3 and is labeled as a criminal, vigilante, and the Peace Syndicate's secret weapon. Last but not least, we have Twin, the Peace Syndicate's multi-faced scout who deceives others with his technology that is able to drastically change his appearance and aid him in completing his mission as a scout. Next up is the Fox Clan. The Fox Clan is a group of hunters that have an unknown but powerful connection to rifts and have been around for quite some time, but they weren't properly established until Chapter 2 Season 5. From what we know so far, the Fox Clan has no leader, so it's either possible that they actually don't have a leader, or we just have to wait and they'll be revealed to us soon. Drift, a graffiti artist from California who was rifted into Reality 0 in Chapter 1 Season 5, was the first of the Fox Clan to be introduced to us. We currently do not know much about him, and neither do we know much about his female counterpart who came from an alternative reality, Catalyst. The other 3 members that we are currently aware of are V, Vox Hunter, and Stray. V is a skilled hunter/warrior of the Fox Clan who hacked the Fortnite Twitter to ask Drift to help the Fox Clan after they were being chased by what V described as something old, something bad. Vox Hunter is the Fox Clan's dauntless tracker and their digital avatar. Finally, we have Stray, the special ops expert of the Fox Clan, former member of the River Guard, and the brother of the exalted empress of the River Guard, Mizuki. This ties into our last syndicate, the River Guard. Little is known about the River Guard considering that they were just introduced to the story, but they are heavily tied with water, wind, and storms. The only member we are aware of that is part of the River Guard is Mizuki, who is the sister of the traitor Stray, who left the River Guard for the Fox Clan. Although both siblings are on opposing sides, they still deeply love each other as family and ensure that the opposing sibling is safe under any circumstance. Now that I've explained who the syndicates are, let's move on to what's going on between them. Most recently, there has been someone who's been trying to start a war between the syndicates. As explained to us by Evie, the saboteur's current way of operating is by messing with one syndicate and pitting the blame on the other, resulting in more tension between the syndicates.
Someone is trying to start a war between the syndicates. They know that without unity, this city will fall apart. And in the chaos, they can take control. Their current MO is sabotage, messing with one syndicate and pinning the blame on another.
This then creates chaos in the syndicates, and as Evie has told us, may mean that they will try to seize control amidst the chaos. Later on, after helping Evie and her boss Thunder, we find out someone has messed with the Peace Syndicate's secure servers, so we go through a computer terminal and discover that all of the Peace Syndicate's information on the army of the Last Reality has been corrupted.
Good news! The cookbook survived. Does every recipe start with long personal anecdotes about your family farm?
A farm-to-table restaurant without the farm? Baby, that's just table.
Oh, and all of our intel on the army of the Last Reality has been corrupted.
If our saboteur is working with them, there's more than an inter-syndicate war coming our way. Find me or Evie, and we'll go over the plan with you.
Thunder then mentions that if the saboteur is working with the last reality, something far worse than an inter-syndicate war is on the horizon. This now leads to our next two questions. Who is sabotaging the syndicates, and what relation does the saboteur have to the last reality? The number one speculated suspect to be the saboteur is Triarch Nox. He's very discreet, and his dialogue with us tells us not to go near the terminal, which he coincidentally spawns next to every match. The only thing I find odd about this is that if he is a saboteur, he was revealed extremely early, since it's barely even been a week of the new season. But Epic may be trying something new, or we could all be wrong. The reason why I'm sticking with this theory is because Triarch Nox has special dialogue with Rezztro the Destroyer and Highwire. When you go up to him as Rezztro, he says, "You may conquer the light, I will take the dark places in between." And when you go up to him as Highwire, he says, "If chaos is the game, we must play to win." This dialogue seems to confirm our suspicions about Triarch Nox being the saboteur, especially because of the dialogue he has with Highwire, with the win part indicating he wants to take over amidst the chaos, which Evie has warned us about. Time will only tell if he is or not, with the Peace Syndicate's plan being to unite the syndicates and expose who is really to blame for the chaos. But what is the importance of Triarch Nox? Assuming Triarch Nox is a saboteur and corrupted those files regarding the army of the last reality, this means he has relations to them. A community theory at the moment is that Nox's name indirectly tells us that the last reality has 3 rulers, indicating he may be a part of TLR, considering his name gives us this information. But after further investigation of the name, that does not seem like the case. Triarch means one of 3 rulers, and Nox means night/darkness. So Triarch Nox is one of 3 rulers, and he is the ruler of darkness/night. This is what makes me think he is not part of the last reality. Because from what we've seen, the last reality has only one monarch. The Herald is not a ruler, she is only a messenger, and the Nothing is not a ruler either, it's a hive mind. Also, if Nox is part of TLR, then he cannot be the ruler of darkness, since that's already what the Cube Queen is. It's a bit complicated to explain, but I hope you all understand what I'm getting at. Anyways, there are most likely 2 more rulers who are part of this triarchy that we will probably learn about further into the season. But just because he is not part of the last reality does not mean he does not work with them. Considering he is the ruler of darkness, it makes sense he would work with TLR. The last reality would bring more darkness, which in turn would benefit him greatly. Speaking about the last reality, we can move on to our next question. What is the importance of Mystica? An interesting character that is featured in the Battle Pass is Mystica. At first glance, something seems very familiar about them. If you compare Mystica to the Herald, you can see some strikingly similar resemblances between them, such as the plant-like skirts, the fiery hair, the iris and pupil colors, and the same plant/coral-like looks in general. It's also been suggested that Mystica's world has been destroyed, and the most prominent faction that destroys entire worlds is the last reality. One of Mystica's loading screen descriptions also say, "We must illuminate the past to find the future." The last reality brings darkness and destruction, and Mystica's homeworld was destroyed, and she wants to illuminate the past. Sounds sort of like she wants to get rid of that darkness with the light. The Herald is also 100% a Plexarian, which is one of the races a part of the last reality, and considering that Mystica looks quite similar to the Herald, I think it's safe to say they were from the same world, except Mystica may have been more attached to the sea than the Herald, considering their design and set. This means that after the destruction of their home world, the Herald joined the last reality, or she could have brought the Nothing to them, which in my opinion would be a really cool way to explain the Herald's backstory and make her feel more of an evil character than she already is. This now brings us to our final question. Is the last reality returning soon? I personally believe that they are. All the evidence I have provided regarding Triarch Nox, Mystica, and even the quests themselves are claiming that the return of the last reality is imminent, and we should expect their arrival soon. But this time, I'm not too sure if we'll escape the last reality again. We've already managed to escape them twice, and maybe more in the past, but we are only delaying the inevitable. With the 7 now on their side, it seems like all hope is finally lost. What do you guys think about this? If you are new here, make sure to subscribe, a like is appreciated, and please consider using my code Rezztro in the item shop. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.